everybody knows HTG, but very few people actually know the man behind it. Before Hood2Good, before the schools, before the community, who was Kenny Starr?
Ooh, I'm gonna be honest, man. I was a lost individual. When I was all in middle school, high school, I had more teachers and counselors tell me what I wasn't gonna be than who I was gonna be. And when I kept hearing it, you know, it chips away at you at a moment, and then you start to believe it. So when I came out of high school, I made a lot of bad choices. I ain't going into detail. I just made a lot of bad choices. And due to circumstance and a lot of other things that happened in my life and transpired, and the death I witnessed around my community, not just like random people, my friends, right? I went to more street funerals than I did family funerals. We had a lot of elders back then, so it just started hitting me. And then I realized, man, that God got something more for me. I realized that no matter what I did, I always either broke even or won. And I was like, what is this? And I used to run around saying, I'm the chosen one. The next thing you know, God said, nah, you just one of the ones I chose. You know what I mean? It was sort of like Isaiah. Not Isaiah. God forgive me if I don't know the name, but yeah, it's sort of like one of the great prophets. In long short, man, he turned me around. He said, I think the most remarkable thing was when he pulled me up in Bywaters and I was dropping my man LJ off, and all these kids are chasing me. I said, LJ, who are these kids? I don't even know him. He said, man, you don't know Stars? You're like the ice cream man, and you ain't even selling ice cream. And I just like, with him in the car, I just sat and cried for a minute. Because God gave me a flashback of everything, how I started, how I didn't believe in him, and then finally to where I was. And that's who I was. I was always a loving dude, but had a temper because I was angry. I was angry that I didn't have anything to do. I didn't have a skill set. So, man, to God be the glory, here I am now.
So where are you from, and what was life like growing up? Kind of what lessons, you know, from your childhood still shape how you lead today, how you kind of live?
I was born and raised out Palmer Park, PG County, then Bladensburg, and then look, we hit it good. We were like the Jeffersons. We moved up to Marlboro. My pops was a real strong role model. He didn't receive that kind of manly love when he was young, so it was hard for him to give those words. But man, what he made up for in action, he need those words. So we were truly blessed. And what the biggest lesson I learned, and I just said it, my father. I would get in situations, and then I could see his face in my head saying, "You're better than that. You're different." And he kept saying I was different. He literally told me I was different. He said, "Man, you different." And people see stuff in you before you even see it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And then that's what it took, right? And those were the biggest rules. And I learned this: if you don't really want to be in them streets, get out them streets. You know what I mean? I say that to everybody. If you ain't willing to go the whole 9, just get out. Just leave it alone. You can't play out there.
So when you hear the word Annapolis, what comes to mind first?
Home. I'm not even gonna lie to you, that's the first word, home. Not where I'm from, but home. Not just I live here, it's home. It's remarkable to be able to do your work in the city. It's like they welcome me. They welcome me not just like come on in, but they welcome me. They said, I see your work, I see your heart. Why don't you come on in? You know what I mean? And I said, I see your work, I see your heart. Thank you for inviting me. You know what I mean?
Could you kind of, because like you said, you're from PG originally, right? Could you kind of speak on like your journey, how you came to Annapolis and got to where you were? Like, was there haters in your way? You know, because people down here, they want to, control and do things, sort of say. And you might see an outsider come in and just like, man, I've been down here all this time.
The haters, like you living in that world, you never leave it, right? What I mean by that is, I was at a gas station, and I was out in, where I live, and they rolled up, and they wasn't even looking for me, they just coincidentally seen me. He said, "You touchable." In my head, I said, "No, I'm not. I'm getting up about out of here." You know what I mean? So we dipped, right? We dipped and we came to Anne Arundel County.
Okay.
And it wasn't Annapolis, and I was in the school system. I mean, at the time, I was still working at BT. I came and worked in the school system. The only reason I chose Anne Arundel County, I'm sorry, shots fired, PG. Y'all did me, y'all got to change your professionalism. At the school board, I said, hey, I want to get this job. I want to come in and help out, whatever. I said, she said, yeah, here go the number. I wrote it down and said, but anyway, can you transfer me to that number? She said, I gave you the number, I ain't transferring. That's the reaction I had, right? So I said, let me just call Anne Arundel County Public Schools. And they were like, oh man, I want you to come on down, you got time today? And they welcomed me so much, they made sure I was at a school in my neighborhood. And you know what I mean? They were so accommodating. I said, wow, God gives you choices. I could have just fought through the rough and been there, I'd have been gone by then. I'd have been back in television, but he put me here where he need me. Sometimes I learned this, he will close doors where you're going where you're not supposed to be. And then he'll guide you. But it's our choice to say, this is some BS, or just say, let me just call Anne Arundel County Public School. You got a choice, you know?
Like, you said so much just now, I want to kind of get deep. I can dig deep.
I know.
Deep, but I don't want to sway us to where I'm trying to take us at. How did Hood2Good come about? Was there one specific moment that made you say, I'm doing this no matter what?
Man, young Cat Mullins, he was killed out Eastport in 2017. And then they started doing Eastport working together meetings. It was Thanksgiving. I literally, when I got the call from a good friend of mine, I'm gonna shout you out, Kim Moses, she at AP at Severna Park now. She said, Starks, they killed little Mullins. He got a twin. So I came back, we left early, left our family up in Massanutten. We came back and we started doing these meetings. At the same time, I started my company, Community Transitions. Then these young guys, Jaime and all of them, started doing Hood2Good. It never was a company, it was just a thing, what they were doing. So it got adopted by another group. The other group said, won't you take it over, more or less fits you. So at that time, I took it over, put it under my umbrella. And man, and it gave me clarity on what we're doing. Community transitions for everyone born to like the 8th grade. Hood2Good is for 9th graders until you die.
Okay.
Like, unlike a lot of other companies, we don't cancel anybody when you don't grow out of this. You know what I mean? You can call me at 30, and I do have some cats calling me at 30 saying, Starks, I need your advice, I need this, I need you to go with me to this bank to show me how to do this, to show me, and it's like, I got you. You know what I mean? That's like the greatest gift in the world, that the blessing that God gave me is that he trusts me with his people. And that's how it started.
So if someone only watched 1 minute of this interview, what's one thing you would want them to kind of understand about Hood2Good?
That's the whole thing. We're going from one mindset to another. We're going from I can't, I lost hope, to why not me? Why not me? Why can't I do it? Instead of why not, I always look at what if. What if is a big stopper. Yeah. What if this happened? What if that happened? What if it doesn't? I'd rather take my what ifs and make them good, you know?
So what's the biggest challenge today's young people are dealing with that adults don't always see?
They're being told how to feel. Even when they express their feelings, they say, hey, I feel this way. You only feel that way because parents, like when the kids say I'm unhappy, they personalize it and saying they're not happy with me. They're not saying that. So we missed the mark. So they're so told what to be. When I ask them, how do you feel? They're like, one dude said, for what? I said, what you mean for what? He said, why should I tell you? You're gonna tell me how to feel? I said, nah, we don't do that. I said, we don't do that. That's why you're here. I said, he sent you to a place where you can get out your stuff. And then I had one kid walk out and said, man, thank you. I wasn't ready for this. I'm valued. And it's a black dude. We don't say I'm seen, I'm heard, right? But he said, man, I felt seen and heard. And he was, man, I swear he smelled like a whole dispensary. And I wasn't mad. I don't judge.
Yes, sir.
I try to improve. I heard a pastor say, if you smoke marijuana, you ain't a Christian. I said, if you a pastor and you judging, you ain't a Christian. Period. I
like that. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, God said, I'll take them all in. And then, and that's the thing, we gotta take everyone in and not shape them to what we wanna be, guide them to where they wanna go. And that's what we do. That's our niche. We don't let you stay where you are. I can't, or otherwise I'm pimping you.
Yeah.
you know.
So what's the hard truth that the youth from Annapolis have to hear, but they don't want to kind of hear?
You gotta get up off your ass and go do something. You can't just sit there like, I love the kids, I got compassion for the kids, but once you say I can't too many times, I say, good luck with that. I'm here when you need me. I'm never gonna leave you, but I can't, there's nothing I can do right now. You have to turn and give it a try. And that's the biggest thing, man. You have to do, you can be put the information, I see so many kids, the information is on their desk. They walk off and leave the information right there. And they say, I don't know what to do. I said, of course you don't. You didn't take the paper they gave you. And I try to teach them why that part is important, because it builds confidence. And now you're like, okay, I can do the next step. But you can't do the next step until you got enough heart to do the first step. You know?
You know, there's one thing me and Hollywood kind of pride ourselves on is the I can't word. If he hear me saying that, he can stop me dead in my tracks.
Stop it, yes.
That's all that vocabulary.
Yes.
I can't. We don't know what that means.
No. Mine turned into, why not me? If you could do it, if you could be a doctor, I can put in the same work. I'm not dissing what you did. Sir. I'm impressed with what you did, and I can do the same if I put my mind to it.
Yeah. So what's one thing parents could do differently that would make a huge impact on their child's future?
Have dinner time. Sit at the table. Sit at the table and say, how was your day? Good. What does good mean to you? You know what I mean? Because your good may not be my good. Or I want to understand what good mean to you. And what my dad did was, I would come in and give that same answer. What he did was, he said, man, I want you to work on the car with me this Saturday. It was a Volkswagen Beetle. We worked on that joint until I was 21. It never drove. The furthest it went was up the street and back down the street. He told me, I said, with 24, I said, man, why are you doing that? He said, oh, I didn't know my son. And if I put you in an environment where you're not thinking about a conversation, you'll tell me everything I need to know, and I'll get to learn my son. So in essence, when we go into the schools, we don't mentor by sitting there talking about you need to do, we mentor by activity, team building, teamwork, all of that. So you don't even know you're being mentored. And then you got traits coming.
So give me a story about a young person that the Hood2Good kind of changed their life.
Oh my God. I could go on and on, but the recent one, a ton of them before. You look at Chris, you look at LJ, you look at Buddha, Amir. That was like, I think that to me, that was my favorite class.
Okay.
Because you had so many. And then the girls, like I'm horrible with names, and they know it. I'll be like, they're like, sorry, you don't know my name. But the one that really get me is a young lady named Destiny. 2 years ago, we went to the college expo out Fort Washington. She was like, is college bigger than this, the people? I wanted to lie and say, no, it's way less. But I was like, it might be more in your dorm than it is out here, you know what I mean? So she didn't want to go to college, but she rocking a 4.0. I'm like, come on, man, that's going to be wasted talent. So never steered on it, never made it an issue, just simply was there for her in her process. Next thing you know, it's like, Mr. Sachs, I got this much scholarship to go to college. I said, college? And then I had to say, I said, if I say what happened, she might get scared again. But I said, what happened to change? She said, I don't know. I got to do something. I have to do something. And she started winning awards, becoming on the, I don't want to mess it up, the National Honor Society.
Okay.
So she was on that, on principal's list, everything. And now she's going off to college ready. And she's excited. That's right.
Yes.
Destiny, we love you and Daisy forever.
So people often say Annapolis has talent, but they don't always work together. Do you kind of agree or disagree with that?
I agree with that 1,000%. We go nowhere because everyone want to run the ship. And if we just said, you know what, like what we don't understand is no one runs the ship. He does. And he said there's many parts to the body, and they all have a function. Well, how about this? How about if we went out and did the work and you videotaped the story? Is your role less than our role? No, because they're all equal in what they do. But a lot of people, and I know them personally, I know them, don't know them, they won't, like, I don't get invited to a lot of tables. And I'm cool with that because God said, I have my own table for you. And if you keep trying to sit at their table, you can't do what I need you to do. So we chase We chase popularity. We chase, look, mom, it's me. I'm like, she's still living in your mom's basement. You don't need to say, look, mom, it's me. You see her every night. Make a move, make a something. But I will say, everything changes when we change. When we collectively work together, when we start doing everything, man, I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna be really honest. When I sent you the little heads up, I thought it'd be 2 days before you respond. You were instant with, man, we would love to have you. I said, man, that's where I need to be. That's where I need to tell a story. Not some other, I got the famous spot. No, this is where I need to be. And listen to me, I'm not taking shots if you have a podcast. I'm just saying I know where I need it to be. And that's another thing. If I talk good about him, just give an example, that doesn't mean I'm talking bad about you. It just means I'm talking about him right now. You know what I mean? It's like Black Lives Matter. Well, all lives matter. Yeah, but that ain't the topic right now. You know what I mean? We gotta stay on topic and get out of our own way. You know? But y'all real brothers, and man, I'm telling you, it's just, I was excited. Like I told you, I never get nervous. My kids will tell you, my people tell you, look, we're gonna hold you to 2 minutes, right? After talk, because it's a story to tell.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's for everyone, but we don't talk.
So do you think enough is being done for the youth in Annapolis, or do we still have a long way to go?
That's a real great question. I say yes and no.
Okay.
For the little kids in elementary, they got everything for them. For middle school and high school, and they say you can go to Boys and Girls Club. Stop. I'm not gonna be 15 years old getting picked up from my school in a miniature bus. We called it the short bus way back in the day. You couldn't even get on. If that joint was taking you to another school or a field trip, you like, I ain't going. I ain't going there. I'm not sitting in that thing. And see, that's what people, remember we talked about what parents need to understand?
Yes, sir.
They need to understand that. Well, I tell you what, my father, I used to go down to the park and hang out. There was a lot of drugs, a lot of foolishness there. My father said, I'm gonna build you a court on my property. There used to be 20 kids out there balling. He made it happen. You can change it. And we keep saying, y'all ain't got enough for us. If you keep depending on the government to give you something, good luck with that. Build it. There ain't no buildings out here. Build it. And that's the difference, man. We don't do enough. And the kids said, you know what? You don't care about me. I'm gonna hit the streets. You see that in DC with all them kids running around? They're saying, won't you get something for me? And they saying, look at all these hoodlums. Look at all these whatevers, you know what I mean? Thugs, whatever. Man, those are beautiful minded people who could do a lot. But if they don't have nothing to do, what they say, idle mind is a devil playground.
So if someone handed you $1 million check tomorrow, what's the first thing you build or change?
A location, I moved, no, I'm joking. I moved to the Bahamas real quick. Nah, all jokes aside. Man, I would, after I wake up from passing out, out of joy, I would create these places that I want these kids to be. And if I can't physically create one, I'll invest in one that's up and running and say, these are the terms. It'll be finally, you know how the contract is always given to us and the rules are only one-sided? My rules will be on there. You know what I mean? This is what I need from you. Because he who holds the money holds the everything.
Yes,
holds the keys.
Yeah. So what's something people don't see that comes with running a nonprofit?
I'm not gonna go with all that other stuff. I worked at Boys and Girls Club. Shout out Lisa for hiring me. I sat in my chair in my office. I was the director. So I'm Big Willie, so to speak. Everyone thought I was, right? Then I started getting heated up. When I say heated up, I get calls with, I need you to come over. It's 1:30 in the morning. My daughter's, I found a letter about her killing herself, and now she want to amp it up. So now I'm over there making sure that happens. That's what they don't see. They see all the photo ops. I'm not showing those pictures, you know what I mean? They don't see I had to ride this kid to Frostburg. I had to ride this kid to wherever and make sure they had their stuff straight, because all they know is I'm going to college. I signed these papers, they say come on. But there's a lot of nooks and crannies that go with it, so I'm sitting them down. They don't see the overtime. They don't see the free work. Like, I've been getting paid for about 4 years doing this. I've been doing this since 2000, period. Those are years we didn't get paid, you know what I mean? But I believed in what we were doing. I just knew it was a calling and I had the resources. So I'm like, let's go. But that's the biggest thing they don't know.
That's like motivational right there. For you just to know, you said the early 2000s, you've been doing this since
2000.
2000.
Yeah, 2000.
And just
2020, I'm sorry. Not 2020, that's only 2000 when I started before I got down here. Yeah.
So as of 4 years, you just recently started getting paid.
My own company. And you know what? I gotta share this with people. I had my company since 2018.
Yeah.
I did 2 summer camps and then start working for people.
Okay.
Making them money. I probably gained about close to $1 million from other companies. No madness, no regret. But I was afraid that I couldn't do it, but I can do it for them. And then finally things turned left or whatever, and I was forced to do it on my own. And I'm gonna shout out these people because they need to be. Taiwan Thompson in the Partnership for Youth, Children, and Families. Pam Brown, they changed everything. They said, we're gonna give you some money. And we're gonna, I said, what? You gonna give me some money for doing this? And they said, yeah, we believe in you. You know, and that was it. And that changed everything.
So whenever someone is making a difference, there will always be critics. How do you handle the negativity?
In the beginning, I used to shoot back. And then God said, the more you shoot back, the more I got to repair. What if you didn't shoot back and I can grow? You know what I mean? Like, the conversation with God was like, man, God, you get me out a lot of things. He said, I do. He said, but imagine what I can get you into if you just hold your peace. He said, and then he said this, they killed Jesus. And they were in the Word. What do you think gonna happen to you? So it humbled me like, okay, if you can kill the greatest man ever touched the earth because he's making a change, then I should walk around in a bulletproof vest because I'm easy to kill, way easier to kill than Jesus. You know what I mean? Nowhere better.
So 20 years from now, when people hear Kenny Stark's name, what do you hope they say?
He changed my life. I want him to say, like my youngins, it's so funny. One of my guys was talking to me, he said, Starks, you don't even understand your pull in our neighborhood, in our community. He said, I don't care what they doing from smoking to doing something. He said they could be robbing someone and they see you, they stopping everything, talking about Mr. Starks. And that's the greatest thing. You know what I mean? I can help change their life. And then from that moment, I can help change their life.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm gonna spin it on you, Mr. Starks. Right here, I like to do something I call fast rapid questions.
Yes, here we go.
So best place to eat in Annapolis?
Oh, golly, I know it. It's a little joint that sit over the water right down there. I'm pointing to it. It's on the other side, the Eastport side. It's a fancy little restaurant. Got the best oysters and everything. Golly,
Black Warriors or something like
nah, it's on the water. It's like little.
Okay.
It sits right there. It's, I can't remember. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So best basketball player you've seen come from Annapolis?
It's 2, LJ and Christian.
Most underrated part of Annapolis?
The black people.
One word to describe Hood2Good.
Change.
One person who's inspired you.
My father.
One quote or book you live by.
Do unto others as you want them to be done to you.
Like that.
Yeah.
If there's a young person watching this who's lost, doesn't believe in themselves or think nobody cares, what would you tell them?
Don't ever turn the game off in the third quarter when your team is losing. There's one more quarter to play. And as long as you got breath, change can happen.
All right, so is there anything, Mr. Starks, you got coming up? Is there anything you feel we need to be on the lookout for? Is there anything you need some support on from the city? Like, what's going on from Electric Building?
Yeah, to be honest, we're gearing into school year. We're closing those deals up. I'm sending off the contracts or the proposals of what needs to be done or how it's going to look. We're going to be in like 6 schools. We narrowed it down. We was in 20 last year. We took it down to 6 so we don't come over budget anymore because coming out of my pocket is hard, right? The best thing that's coming up with Hood2Good Community Transitions is that we got a new place to start showing our shows. Like we are New Village Academy. Rami Pittman and Kathy Lane, 2 great women. And now my niece somehow works there, and that's a beautiful thing, Ashley Williams. So shout out to them, because we now have a home that we can go to and partner with, you know what I mean? With none of that. So yeah. And man, the biggest thing, stay tuned for in the funding. We launched the funding campaign for summer camp. After we took care of everything, we said, man, we just need you for snacks, a lunch here and there, and the outpour was incredible. The community came through, and to the point that I sat around so much stuff and money that they donated. And like I'm saying, man, like it's like at those moments where you're not hitting right now.
Yeah.
And you feel like I'm losing all of this, and then boom, that comes. And when that came, he said, man, you got a ways to go. I ain't letting go of you yet.
Yeah.
You got more work to do. And I said, thank you, Lord. And that's it. Yeah.
So, all right, Mr. Stubbs, can I get you to give us what they call a drop? A shout out to CodeTv for your leads.
Oh, without a doubt, man. CodeTv is the bomb. Like, they're coming up, they new and they hustling, they grinding, they doing their thing. Stay alert. If they call you up and say, I want to do an interview with you, please take that. They are impactful to the community. They're underground. You know what I mean? They're grassroots, but not for long, because this ain't gonna turn around. And when their efforts on keep producing, what they show you is what you need to know. Don't give up. Don't stop. Don't ever stop. It's a reason God put you in these venues and they put you in this calling. So, man, y'all doing your amazing work. So please don't stop, because I have a lot of videographers and editors I want to send to be one of your apprentices, to come help you out, an intern, unpaid. You know what I mean? To say, hey, because I think, to me, when you're young, the knowledge is way more better than the money. And the opportunities that is black owned, and y'all grinding. And y'all ain't brand new. Y'all been here for a minute, you know what I mean? Not a long minute, but long enough. So shout out to CodeTv. Come be in it.